When the heart whispers. Sometimes love doesn't knock. It breaks in quietly, changes you forever, and leaves without warning. My name is Aarav Sharma, a 21-year-old literature student at Hilltown University, a quiet college nestled in the hills of Himachal. Life was simple, predictable even, until Anaya walked in. It was the first week of our final semester. The air had that cold, poetic charm, like it belonged in a Nicholas Sparks novel. I was sipping coffee in the campus cafe when she entered, wind-blown hair, eyes that carried questions, and a smile too painful to look away from. I don't believe in love at first sight. But that moment felt like poetry found its meaning. She was a transfer student from Delhi. Sat beside me by chance, ordered black coffee, and pulled out a Sylvia Plath novel from her bag. I joked, "You're too pretty to be this emotionally damaged." She smiled. "And you're too talkative to be sitting alone." And just like that, the walls came down. Days turned into moments. We started meeting every day. I'd walk her to class, she'd text me poems late at night. We talked about everything: life, regrets, childhood wounds, failed dreams. She wasn't like other girls. She had this emotional depth. She understood silence better than most people understand words. Once, I told her how my dad left when I was 13, and she didn't say, "I'm sorry." She just sat quietly and placed her hand over mine. In her presence, even the sadness felt softer. The first kiss. It was a rainy Tuesday. We had just finished watching Before Sunrise in her hostel room. As the credits rolled, I looked at her, and the world stopped making sense. "Anaya," I whispered. She looked up, her eyes searching mine. I leaned in, slow and uncertain. And then it happened. Our lips touched, not like fire, but like a promise. Soft, trembling, sacred. We didn't say anything after. Just held each other as the rain tapped against the window, as if applauding our quiet rebellion against loneliness. The faint smell of trouble. Things weren't perfect, though. Sometimes, I'd catch her staring into nothing for minutes. She'd zone out during conversations, and when I asked, she'd say, "I'm just tired." Other times, she'd cancel plans last minute, disappear for hours, and return with eyes red but a smile forced so beautifully it almost hurt to question it. I tried not to overthink. After all, everyone has their scars. But something wasn't right. The night that changed it all. One evening, we were sitting on the college rooftop, watching stars. She asked, "Aarav, do you think people can love two people at once?" I frowned. "Why would you ask that?" She looked away. "Just wondering." I laughed it off, but inside, my gut twisted. I told myself I was being paranoid. But I couldn't shake the unease. The red sweater. A week later, I saw something I wasn't meant to see. I went to her hostel unannounced with her favorite donuts. Her roommate said she wasn't in. But just as I was leaving, I noticed a red sweater on the doorknob, a guy's sweater. Anaya had once told me that was her secret sign with a friend from the past to not be disturbed. I walked away, heart pounding, hands shaking, smile dying on my lips. She changed. After that day, she became colder. Kisses turned into quick goodbyes. Long conversations became short replies. I started losing her, and she didn't even notice. One night, I confronted her. "Are you seeing someone else?" Her eyes didn't widen. Her hands didn't flinch. She just said, "I don't know how to explain, Aarav." "What does that mean?" "I'm trying to figure out who I am." "And who is he?" I asked, voice breaking. She looked at me with guilt, pain, and something else I couldn't name. "I'm sorry," she whispered. And just like that, 1,000 memories collapsed into silence. The emotional storm. I stopped eating. Skipped classes. Lost weight. Lost myself. My friends told me to move on. But how do you move on from someone who owns your silence? Late at night, I'd stare at my phone, hoping she'd call. She never did. Until one night. The message. It was 2:43 a.m. A text lit up my phone. "Come to the cafe. One last time." My heart raced. I ran through the empty streets. The cafe was dark except for a single table lit by candlelight. She sat there wearing the same yellow dress she wore on our first date. Her eyes looked tired, but there was fire in them. "I need to tell you the truth," she said. I sat, breath caught in my throat. "The truth. There was someone before you," she began. "My ex. We were together for 3 years. He cheated. Broke me. And when I came here, I wasn't ready. But you healed me in ways I didn't know I needed." Then why, I began. "Because healing and loving are different. I used you, Aarav. I didn't mean to. But I did. I thought I loved you. But when he came back, everything got blurred again. I felt my world shift." "You chose him?" I asked. "No. He chose me." Silence. "I'm leaving tomorrow," she said. This was goodbye. The final blow, suspense twist. As I sat there, shattered, she got up and walked out. But just before leaving, she turned and said, "There's one more thing you should know. You were never second. You were the only one who ever saw me. And that's why I couldn't stay." She handed me a folded paper and disappeared into the darkness. I opened the note with trembling hands. It read, "If anything happens to me, don't trust what they tell you. Look under the bench where we carved our initials." My heart stopped. What did she mean? Was she in danger? I rushed to the campus garden, the same bench where we'd carved A+A=infinity. I looked under. There was a small sealed envelope taped beneath. My name was written in her handwriting. Inside, a photo. Anaya. Bruised. Crying. And behind her, in the reflection of the mirror, a man.